Well, guys, we're back. And we've already discussed the top 10 movies for the year 2023. But if you're going to do a video about the top 10 movies of 2023, then you're going to want to do the worst movies of 2023. Now, unfortunately, I've only seen 19 movies this year because I didn't have my YouTube page at the time. So I only got the top 9 worst movies for 2023. Let's get started. Number 9, Disney Pixar's Elemental. A very dry, boring take on a love romance relationship between a girl made of fire and a boy made of water. And yes, you guys are going to ask, did I pass this film? I gave it the bare minimum because I was being reasonable, but it wasn't enough for me to tell you guys to watch this movie, to go out and see it, not even to pay a matinee for it. And so because of that, I'm going to just let you know it wasn't a great film. Disney Pixar was very, very shocked. And this movie was dedicated to someone. After the end credits, they make mention that this film was dedicated to someone. Gotta do a lot better than that, Pixar. It was a very generic, basic film. They didn't really talk too much about the elementals. And that really made the movie drag a lot because you're trying to figure out where they're going with this. What are the lessons? And then there's just some political stuff that they threw in there just to please certain people. And I'm like, come on, Disney Pixar. What was that doing for the plot? Why are we doing this? Number 8, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Yeah, Quantumania. This movie disgusted me. I caught a late night show. I'll never forget. Certain movies I'm just never going to forget. This particular film, we find Scott Lang dealing with King the Conqueror. Don't know why they gave King the Conqueror as a villain to Scott Lang. Because obviously Ant-Man is not a super powerful person. He's a human that can shrink with the help of his suit. So why would you use King the Conqueror as the villain? That was the first issue. Second issue, his daughter was just in the film, very annoying, no development, no chemistry between him and her, because obviously she's a new character. We don't feel anything for her because obviously she's a new character in the sense that they changed the actress for whatever the reason. Maybe the former actress just wasn't going to be old enough for this film, or they felt as though she couldn't carry the movie. But the chemistry sucked in this particular movie. There were some random jokes here, there, some creepy things that was said by Michelle Pfeiffer, who plays Janet Van Dyne. And the film as a whole lacked plot, depth, substance, anything that you would want to care about in any good film. Very, very poor attempt from Marvel. Number 7, Fast X. Yikes. What a very rough year for Vin Diesel. It was a movie that defied all logic. I get that when we go into the theater, we have to have a sense of disbelief. But at the same time, I recognize that that disbelief doesn't mean that we're stupid, nor does it mean that we're ignorant. So, Fast X was a pathetic attempt at keeping a fan franchise alive. Again, we're dealing with this being their last mission, and then his brother is in this film, and he develops this relationship with them, and he helps save his son, and this guy is the villain from the 5th movie, and that was cool. I enjoy the villain in this film. The way that Jason Momoa, portrays the villain in this film is pretty cool. But other than that, if you're not focusing on Jason's scenes, you're really bored, you don't care about the characters, you're unentertained, and it just didn't do anything for you, me, them, we, she. Number 6, The Flash. So, the beginning of the movie was very random. And the film just continues to carry on and on and on and on. The way that they solved the problem in the film was very unrealistic. We're talking about time traveling. We're talking about the multiverse, as it were. He travels because he's moving so fast. That's just not enough for me to care about. Then he's worried about his parents, trying to resolve those internal issues that come with having parental loss. It was a DC film. I can definitely assure you of that. But there was something that I just wanted to say that was really the highlight of the film. Michael Keaton. He's the original Batman, man. He's the guy. He's the guy. But even Michael Keaton couldn't save this film. Number 5, Barbie. Yeah, sorry ladies, I said it. The Barbie movie makes number 5 for the top worst movies of 2023. Even Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling could not save this film. This movie explores the life of Barbie, leaving her dream life behind, as it were, or the Barbie world, to come into the real world, which she spends 5 seconds in the real world. She goes out of the real world, to go back to the Barbie world in which Ken has got this virus of masculinity in which he continues to or strives to corrupt the Barbie world. It was a movie that really degrades men, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that because I'm a guy, just looking at it from a perspective of just audience. Like, you can portray men a certain way, but there was no need to go that deep with it. And a lot of people just were not. It was Barbie. Why did we have to make it political? That's just another story. So yeah, it definitely hit number 5, the worst movies of 2023. Number 4, The Marvels. There's nothing marvelous about this film. Here, the 3 Marvels, I guess you want to call it now, they're like a boy band. They find themselves with their powers intertwined. So we have Monica Rambeau, Carol Danvers, and Kamala Khan. They don't know each other. Something happens within the continuum, the vortex, and then their powers are intertwined with one another. They spend most of the movie swapping around with one another. Poor character development. There was no connection to Secret Invasion, which didn't make any sense because you built up this entire climax with Nick Fury's wife going on to Saber with him just for her not to appear in this movie at all, and for Nick Fury just to run around saying the same thing he's been saying since we saw Iron Man, the first movie. Very poor attempt. And then what really stunk about this movie where they ended up on a planet in which everybody sings. The movie's runtime is an hour and 45 minutes, and you spend 30 minutes of the movie wanting to puke. So yes, it definitely reaches number 4 of the worst movie of 2023. Number 3, The Blue Beetle. This movie finds an unlikely person, Mr. Reyes, in possession of an ancient alien relic, which is biotechnology called the Scarab. And he takes on this entity, as it were, and he transforms into the Blue Beetle. Now, the villain in this movie was really what caused it to flop. It is an attempt at Iron Man number 1. In fact, the character's design looked exactly like the character from Iron Man 1. The villain has no good motive in wanting to harm this boy, other than the fact that there needs to be a villain. The family, there's no deep relationship with the family, which is surprising because these people are Hispanic, and that's what Hispanic culture is based on, just loving your family and being there for your family. So I find that to be extremely of interest. The Blue Beetle was indeed a flop. I was itching to get out of the theater when I saw this particular film. Number 2, Wish. Disney's Wish. Wow. Chris Pine is my guy, but not even he could be able to help them with this film. Here we find ourselves dealing with the character Asha, who strives to free her papa's wish so that he can have an opportunity to cultivate and develop his life the way that he wants. There are several plot holes in this film that are lacking. When you're in the theater, you don't connect with her character. You're sitting there watching them sing at any opportunity but the right opportunity. And for a Disney film to celebrate their 100th, this was supposed to be Disney's 100th film, it's poop. It was utter poop. The villain of the film runs around and parades around as if he has it like that. And even down to his song, I'm like, this man has like abandonment issues, or his mom wasn't with him growing up, or maybe he wasn't breastfed the proper way. Whatever the case is, Disney Wish definitely locks in the spot for number 2 as the worst movie of 2023. And ladies and gents, it's that moment that you've been waiting for. The reason why you click on these videos, for whatever the reason. I mean, you could just skip forward, but that's just what we do. The number 1 film that takes the cake for the worst movie of 2023, I give you The Little Mermaid. Yeah, that's it. The Little Mermaid. It is supposed to be a remake, a modern live animation. Disney was on the live animation kick of Ariel's life. The only thing about this film was Miss Bailey. She did her thing. She was a wonderful force for this film. But when you're not watching her and her singing, when you're not watching her, you're constantly listening to the Hamilton vibes. I should not have to watch a film where Lin-Manuel had his hands on it and discern, hey, wait a second, this sounds like Hamilton. Hey, wait a minute, was Lin-Manuel on the set? What's going on? That was what you got from this movie. We know that he's with Disney and they're kicking it tight, but the scuttlebutt was just it was just a disgrace. The movie does not develop Ariel's character the way it should be developed. Even the scene with her father, it was dramatic, but it didn't leave you feeling sorry for her. You're supposed to feel sorry for her because you can connect with her character in some way. It didn't do that. So yes, The Little Mermaid took the number one spot as the worst movie of 2023. Guys, thank you so much for allowing me to review these movies for you. It's been a pleasure to be here on the scale with you. We'll catch you the next time. Other than that, thanks for tuning in to the Cinema Scale. Peace out.